Hello, welcome to Nuts Today on this very warm Friday. Hope you're all right. I'm Emma Caldwell and we are nearly at the weekend, but before we get there, here's what's on the show today. First, we'll be heading to part of rural Notts where local leaders are highlighting the need for more affordable homes.
We're going to work for a new strategy for housing and land across the East Midlands so that there's that local approach with a regional strategy that connects in with national policy.
We'll have more on that shortly, plus we're going to be hearing all about a new 200-page print journal being created to celebrate the best of our city. The new Nottingham Journal wants to showcase exciting new stories, journalism and poetry from writers and has already received significant financial support to get it all off the ground. Plus, of course, it's been very warm today, hasn't it? And we've been out about in the city asking people whether it's just a bit too hot.
Although I need to stay in the shade because I don't like suntan lotion, that's annoying. But yeah, this is nice. It's nice knowing when you wake up in the morning that it's nice weather, quite like that. It's like being on holiday.
Plus, later on in the show, we're going to be meeting one of the local artists starring in an upcoming stage adaptation of George Orwell's iconic novel 1984. Nottingham Playhouse are going to be housing the adaptation of Orwell's dystopian classic next week. And what's brilliant about this is it features loads of local performers who've brought the book to life. We're going to be meeting one of them later on in the show. And in sports, we'll be looking at some rather vital transfer news for Nottingham Forest. Well, that's after Tottenham reportedly triggered a £60 million release clause in the contract of playmaker Morgan Gibbs-White, who could be on his way out of the City ground within days. We've got all that and loads more coming up just for you. But first, Sherwood Forest MP has been visiting residents alongside the Nottingham Community Housing Association to highlight the need of more affordable homes across the county. The MP met with councillors and representatives to emphasise keeping local people in local areas. And this all comes as part of Rural Housing Week. Jack Sims has more.
They say there's no place like home, but building them isn't always so simple. Earlier this year, the government committed to putting £2 billion into social and affordable housing in an aim to construct 1.5 million homes by 2029. This has also included a commitment to develop more housing in rural areas, like here in Wellesby, which has already seen a phased development of rented bungalows delivered by Nottingham Community Housing Association. These homes were made to be more affordable to people already from the area, such as Leanne Linds. She has multiple sclerosis and is partially sighted, and she says staying in a familiar area has helped her and her family.
Well, I've lived in Wellesby all my life. I lost my sight when I was 21, and obviously knowing the village has been familiar to me. And I know quite a few people in the village, which is nice. I think they should make more places like this available just for the people that need it, especially for people who have got disabilities, but even just for normal people that can't afford a house now because prices are going up.
Today, Leanne met with Sherwood MP Michelle Welsh. She says central government remains committed to creating affordable housing that communities can be proud of.
The people that I've spoken to today have said we never thought we'd be able to live in a house like this. How incredible is it that we live in a house like this? And for me, this is the standard of housing that everybody should have. It shouldn't be about luck. It should be about creating good, solid housing which is affordable to people. Here in Wellesby, we've delivered something that is in keeping with the village. It allows local people to stay local.
But the government can't break ground on development alone. Councillor Lee Brazer, who's responsible for housing at Newark and Sherwood District Council, says collaboration between developers and government is key.
Connectivity between local government, between national government registered providers. We're going to work for a new strategy for housing and land across the East Midlands so that there's that local approach with a regional strategy that connects in with national policy.
So as the country gets to work building more housing for the future, it's local government and local people who are striving to keep these communities close. Jack Sims for Notts TV.
Thank you so much, Jack. Right, it's time for our first Friday guest of the show, and we're about to hear all about a new 200-page print journal celebrating the best Nottingham has got to offer. The new Nottingham Journal wants to showcase exciting local stories, journalism and poetry from local and international writers and print an edition each year. And it's the first day of its crowdfunder. In the first day, I beg your pardon, it already surpassed its fundraising goal. It's being brought forward in partnership with the Left Lion and guidance from both universities too. And joining us now to tell us more is the editor, Andrew Tucker-Leavis. Thank you so much for joining us. Tucker-Leavis, I beg your pardon. So you're looking absolutely fabulous as well in your green.
I thought I might boil, but so far that hasn't happened.
So far so good. I love it. So tell us more about the new Nottingham Journal.
So, I mean, you touched on it there. So it's going to be a 200-page annual publication with some short stories in, some journalism, some poetry, and some black and white photography. And the concept really is born in the fact that a lot of great cities around the world have named literary journals. So far, we don't seem to have had that. So we want to bring that kind of experience into Nottingham, but also we want to make it nice and accessible and bring people with us as we go.
And why do you think it's so important that Nottingham has something like this? Like you say, other cities have it and we don't. First of all, why haven't we ever had one, and why is it so important?
Yeah, that's a good question. I mean, I moved to London and I was there for a couple of years, and I felt the response when I mentioned I was from Nottingham didn't line up with my experience of the city. Right. So there was still a bit of Shottingham, sort of a sense of Midlands parochialism or nothingness. And as I say, I don't think that's fair, I don't think that's representative.
Or true.
Or true at all. I mean, the creative scene here is, I'm going to be steadfast in arguing the best in the world, or right up there. So I think we're also a UNESCO City of Literature, and we're plugged into that network. And yeah, absolutely, we have so much to shout about, and that's what we're aiming to do, really.
And is this something that artists and writers and illustrators and all those kind of things can get in contact with you and say, look, I've got this great thing, or are you inviting people that you already know of?
Absolutely. I mean, we've just had open submissions, so that was running from late May to late June. So we're going to reopen, I think, in March for the second volume. So that's closed-ish for the moment, but it's a very open organisation, and that's what we're aiming for it to be. So do send a message on Instagram, or just email me at editor@newnottinghamjournal.com. I am pretty available. I've just finished a degree, so this is the time to fire things at me. Yeah.
So, and I love the passion for Nottingham. Of course, we share that with you as well. And this was a crowd-funded project, but I think it went better than you ever thought it would go.
Yeah, I mean it's ongoing, and that's part of the reason I'm here, really. So we launched on Wednesday with a target of £1,200, and we're just kind of blown away by the response in terms of kind of the sheer enthusiasm. And we did reach the target within 24 hours.
Wow.
And yeah, I'm kind of overwhelmed with gratitude, really, because all of these things start as very tiny ideas, and this is one that's just snowballed, and it's still snowballing, and nobody has kind of stopped the snowball yet.
Which is wonderful, and I love the fact that there's such a passion and an appetite for it as well. So what happens next? When will we see that first edition coming out?
So we're aiming for an October launch. I'm working with partners at the moment, so we're partnered with Left Lion, Bad Betty Press. We're talking to both the university's creative writing departments, and UNESCO City of Literature have boosted it massively. So we've had sort of entries from all over the world. So yeah, we're in the process now of putting everything together, choosing all the pieces that are going to be in it, and our lovely editorial designer Nat at Left Lion is helping with that as well. So it's a very exciting time.
It really is. So what are we talking about? Like a coffee table book, or like a really hefty magazine? What will it be?
So the heft is going to be in the content, hopefully, but I think we want something really approachable in terms of design. I looked at a study last year that said 50% of people in the country read for pleasure regularly. But I think it's a very small slice of those people who would get up in the morning and think, oh, I'm going to pick up a literary journal today. So I think people are ready to engage with that content, but it's just making it seem like a lot of literary journals come across as dignified, and it's not that we're undignified, but we want to be accessible and sort of telegraph that we're for everybody, really, who's bright and curious. Which is most people, I think.
I love that. So remind us how we can get involved and how we can find out more.
So the website is newnottinghamjournal.com. You can sign up for the newsletter. You can follow us. Instagram's the main social media platform, and the Kickstarter you can find through the website or the social media, or you can just search for it.
Wonderful.
But we would love people to get involved, and this
Sounds
is
so very cool.
the ground floor. This is
Love
the time
it.
to hop in.
Andrew, thank you so much for coming in
Thank
and
you very
sharing that
much.
with us. All right, time for now some more Notts news. And Nottinghamshire police officer has been given a final written warning for his unnecessary and aggressive actions. PC David Barton was assaulted whilst out in Bingham in August 2023 before pushing away members of the public to grapple with his attacker, leading to an altercation where one person was headbutted. He later called the force control room, making reports a misconduct panel heard were misleading. The hearing on Thursday found his behaviour amounted to misconduct and he was given a final written warning. Next, and the family of a much-loved great-grandmother who died after her mobility scooter was hit by a speeding driver say she was a beacon of love, hope and kindness. Ma Rayner, a mother of 13 children and a pillar of the St Anne's and Sneinton communities, was fatally injured at a pedestrian crossing on Huntingdon Street in March 23 when she was hit by an Audi A1 being driven above the speed limit by Rayner Middleton. The 89-year-old died after being taken to hospital. 31-year-old Middleton of Nelson Road in Daybrook has now been jailed for 4 years after appearing in Nottingham Crown Court. Time for a short break now, but when we get back, we are going to be hearing how Nottingham Playhouse is about to become dystopian London as Orwell's 1984 takes to the stage. Plus, we'll be hearing your thoughts on whether it's just too hot. All that and your sports roundup on the way in just a sec. Bye-bye. Hello, welcome back to Friday's show with me, Emma Caldwell. I hope you're okay today. Thank you so much for joining us. Here's what's happening in Notts today. First, and the operator of Nottingham's e-bikes says stronger locks will be installed to stop criminals from using them illegally. Lime, which provides 750 bikes to the city's streets, has told two councillors criminals have been able to unlock bikes by using force to break their locks, meaning they can be used without being identified through its app. The bikes can't be used electronically, but can be used as ordinary bikes, and they can be taken out the city centre too. In response, the company is installing stronger locks that are harder to break. Next, and East Midlands Mayor Claire Ward could be given extra powers over the fire service and policing through the new English Devolution and Community Empowerment Bill. The Labour politician is responsible for driving growth on issues like housing, public transport and regional development across Nottinghamshire and Derbyshire. This could soon also include policing and fire services and the potential removal of the police and crime commissioners for both counties if the government bill is given royal assent. Right, moving on now, and it's time for our final guest of the show and of the week. And if you're a fan of George Orwell's iconic novel 1984, you might want to sit up and listen to this. That is because the poignant book, which follows Winston Smith navigating a dystopian London where Big Brother is watching you, sounds familiar, has been adapted into a stage play featuring countless local artists from right here in Nottingham, and it is taking over Nottingham Playhouse for 2 nights next week. And joining us now to tell us more is one of the artists, Ifani Faluku, who is playing Winston. Thank you so much for joining us.
Thank you.
So tell us more about the production.
Okay, so 1984, you all know the story, but do you know the production? No, you don't. It's a twist. The play starts off in Winston's future rather than chronologically. It's things that he's remembered, forgotten, kind of weaving its way throughout the play, and you know, it has a catch as well.
Okay, we cannot reveal too much more about that. Now, you are playing the lead, Winston Smith. What can you tell us about him? And imagine that people don't know the story of 1984.
Okay, I would say honestly, Winston Smith is your average Joe. It just so happens that average Joe is living in a world that is not so average at all. So what does he need to do? He needs to try and somewhat come out of that cocoon. He needs to break out and, come on guys, wake up, you know?
It's an incredible part to be playing. You must be so thrilled to be playing as a Nottingham actor as well, performing at the Playhouse.
It truly is an honour, and I don't want to take it lightly, but no, I'm really grateful. The audition process was succinct and nice and efficient, and yeah, I got the part. A bit like Winston, I used everything in my own life to try and say, yes, wake up, we will do this.
This is it.
Yeah.
This is the moment. And there's loads of local, it's all local artists, isn't it, performing?
Exactly, yeah. In fact, my friends, they are part of Homegrown at the Nottingham Playhouse. It's kind of a theatre collective where you all had to audition to get into the piece. Being Nottingham grown, it's local talent, and we're all trying to make it in this world, you know? So the fact that we've come to the end of our kind of curriculum and we're putting on this play at the end, it's a happy ending.
I love that, and I think this is so important just to kind of big up the fact that the arts in Nottingham are so good at the moment, aren't they?
They are. Everyone just thinks actors, London, private school, you must have come from nothing and everything, but no, there's other cities out there, and as a Nottingham person, I said, I'm doing 1984, let's get the word out of there. Because, you know, everyone deserves to dream and everyone deserves to achieve those dreams.
Absolutely, which is quite ironic that we're talking about 1984 with this.
Right?
So for people who love 1984, this is going to be an incredible production. But do you think it's also a production that is accessible to people who maybe don't know the story? And I feel like 1984 is one of those things where everyone goes, oh, we all know the story. Yeah. But actually, if you did it at school, potentially might not remember it.
Exactly, and can I let you in onto a little secret?
Go on.
I didn't know the book even existed before I got the part. Don't tell anyone, but I did my intense research way back.
So what did you think when presumably now you've read the book, what did you think?
I was like, this is Hunger Games, this is Maze Runner, this is the OG dystopian trope, because I've obviously watched the more recent Maze Runner, and I've said, oh, so that's where they got their ideas from. It was from George Orwell, the OG. Yeah. So I was like, that makes so much sense, and I loved it. I really did. It's rebellious.
And I think for a new generation as well, because are you 21?
I'm 21.
Yeah, so for a new generation of artists that are coming to this, obviously weren't even nearly born in 1984,
yeah.
Like this must just be wild.
No, it is, but it's also kind of, it doesn't seem too far-fetched in a way.
Because this is all happening now.
Because it's all happening in 2025. So it's like classics, as time goes on, they become more and more prevalent, more and more relevant.
Yeah.
So yeah, it doesn't feel far-fetched. I feel like Surveillance, we have that. Hey Alexa, turn off. She's not actually off. So what do we do there?
Yeah.
It's all Big Brother.
And this is it. This is where life has changed. We are so thrilled that you're performing. Now, I would ask about ticket details, but this has been such a popular production. It's sold out, hasn't it?
I know, it's sold out. I feel kind of bad promoting it and you can't even get a ticket, but all hope is not lost. Hopefully word gets out there. People at the Playhouse, if you're listening, yeah, matinee. We want another session. Let's bring it back. Let's do it again.
That would be amazing. And if people do want to find out more about the production and about you as well, where can they find out more?
On the Nottingham Playhouse website, they've got all their socials if you just type in Nottingham Playhouse. And me, Afani Faluku, well, this is the start of my acting career.
Oh, I can't wait.
You know.
I feel big things are coming. Afani, thank you so much for joining us today. Appreciate it.
Thank you so much.
All right, from the quarrels of Winston Smith to some warmer weather now. It's been so hot today, hasn't it? We've had some scorching weather this week and over the past month in general too, with temperatures exceeding 30 degrees in Nottingham today. Of course, we'll have your full weather forecast later on in the show, but with these warmer temperatures looking likely to stay, today we went out into Nottingham to see whether people on the streets are enjoying the heat or if it's just a bit too hot.
Appreciate the hot weather after living through the winter months, which have been awful.
I prefer it to the rain, although I need to stay in the shade because I don't like suntan lotion. That's annoying. But yeah, this is nice. It's nice knowing when you wake up in the morning that it's nice weather. Quite like that. It's like being on holiday.
Very comfortable in this. I'm lucky enough to have travelled abroad and worked abroad a few times, so this is warm, but it's not the warmest I've seen.
I like to see the sun, I like to be out in the sun, but when it goes on for a bit too long, it's very tiring as you get older.
I love the sun. Look at the sun beaming, get the tan, get the sunnies on. Good summer, come on.
It's very hot, but nearly too hot, but it's good for now. I like it.
It's not the weather for jeans.
Not jeans
weather.
It's
for shorts.
It makes me burn, we need sun cream.
I enjoy the hot weather because it's nice, you can be on the single layers. Whereas cold is too much for the too many layers and everything. Well, me being from Sri Lanka, I would say I feel home now. So yeah, as long as it's like this, I'm going to enjoy it.
It brings out the best in people.
Brings out the best in people and the environment.
Makes people happy. You're happier when it's sunny than when it's raining. You're always a little bit, so it is much better.
Really enjoy it when I'm outside. Sun feels amazing on your skin when it's sort of out like this. If I was indoors or working, I'd probably hate it, but I'm off today, so yeah, can't complain really.
Well, I hope even if you're not a fan of the sunshine, you do find some time to enjoy it over the weekend. Time for your sport now, and we are starting with some rather concerning transfer news for Nottingham Forest fans after Tottenham triggered the £60 million release clause of Morgan Gibbs-White. The news has led to some concerns from fans on social media who weren't aware of the Reds playmaker had a release clause in his contract, with Gibbs-White also reportedly agreeing personal terms with the Europa League winners too. The news comes just days after Newcastle's bid for winger Anthony Elanga was also accepted by the club, posing a significant blow for the Forest front line. Sticking with Forest now, have you seen this? The club have released their new home kit for the upcoming season. Look at that, old school. The red and white pinstripe top takes inspiration from the club's 1990s kits, when Shipston and Wrangler were the club's sponsors, including a collar with a white line, the iconic Adidas stripes on the shoulders and a border around the crest. It launched in stores this morning and starts from £75. Across the Trent now and Notts County have been praised for plans to include safe standing at Meadow Lane. The Magpies are introducing a raft of new safety measures this summer, including the safe standing zone, new handrails and other structural improvements to the ground itself. It follows rules on standing which were introduced after the Hillsborough disaster in 1989, being changed in 2022. The new standing zone will be introduced into the COP, and in a Nottingham City Council meeting this week, councillors said they were impressed by the plans. We go up the A60 now, and tickets for Mansfield's pre-season friendly with Middlesbrough at Field Mill have gone on sale. The Championship side will travel to the One Call Stadium on Saturday, July the 19th, and tickets for the clash have gone on sale, starting at £12.50 for adults. The club is only initially opening the lower tier of the Ian Greaves stands, but says it will open the upper tier if there's demand. All right, it's time for your Friday picture of the day now. Take a look at this. Look at that lovely cow taken by Notts photographer Steve Plewinski over the border at Hardwick Hall. Isn't that gorgeous? Don't forget to send us your pictures on socials by tagging us at Notts_TV. Even the cow needs to get in the water to cool down. All right, speaking of cooling down, in your weather, of course, it's been another hot one today, hasn't it? Paddling pools out all over the place, and that continues into the evening with highs tonight of 31 degrees, lows of 17 overnight, and that warmth continues into Saturday too. Highs of 30 degrees, lows of 15. Slightly more cloud heading into Sunday, but it's still going to be very warm. There's no denying it, with a high of 28 and a low of 17. Make sure you stay safe in the sunshine. It is going to be quite high pollen as well, so if you're a hay fever sufferer, make sure you take those antihistamines. And that is the end of the show today, and the end of the shows for the week. Thanks, as always, to our brilliant guests and fabulous guests on the show today. Al Booth is back with you on the other side of the weekend, guiding you into another week's of Notts news and views. But until then, from everyone here on the team at Notts TV, enjoy the warm weather over the weekend. Whatever it is you do, make sure you stay safe and wear a hat. So I'm Emma Caldwell. We'll see you soon. Bye-bye.